Sublimation is such a fun and easy process once you have the right tools and the know-how on what you're actually doing. And that's why you are here today. We are going to sublimate a puzzle because how fun is that? You can really personalize and customize these puzzles for any occasion. I'm doing mine for Mother's Day today. And we are going to walk through the process of how to design your puzzle in Canva using elements from Creative Fabrica. And we will walk through the type of sublimation ink and paper I choose to use and what printer settings we use and all the good things. So if you are new here, hello, my name is Sarah. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I will be uploading a bunch of tutorials on easy sublimation projects that you can start right away with simple things you can find at the Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby. There's so many options out there. Without further ado, grab your coffee or whatever beverage you are drinking at the time of day or night you are watching this, and let's get crafting. Now I picked up a box of these sublimation puzzles from Hobby Lobby, and as you can see on the back here it has the instructions of your temp and time, and for only $5.99 you get 6 of these puzzles in one package. And on the front here, you can see the size of the puzzle so you know how big to make your design. And I thought that this was a great deal. Like $1 a puzzle, you can't go wrong with that. So we are going to just open this up and pull one of these puzzles out and see what we have. Hobby Lobby has so many different sublimation blanks. You just kind of have to really look around. They're not always in one area, so make sure you check the whole store. But here you can see these are all individually wrapped and they have a piece of cardboard on the back to help you keep this all in one piece. And then we are going to head over to Canva, where we are going to hit create a design and custom design. Changing this to inches, we are going to make this width 10 and the height we will put in as an 8. That will give us enough space to work with to make sure that we cover the entire puzzle. And then hit create design. Now after your blank canvas pops up, we will head up to the top right here and name our project so we can find it in our download folder later. So I'm just going to type in here Grandma's Puzzle because that is what we are working on today. And then when you are done with that, you can decide how you want to go about designing this. Now, I really like the elements and the backgrounds in Canva, but I also like Creative Fabrica because here you can search all different things and they have everything. I mean, I love Creative Fabrica. If you haven't been here yet before, I'll leave a link down below so that you can check it out yourself. But for this project, I am going to search up seamless patterns for flowers. And as you can see, you find all sorts of different things when you search specifically like that. For this project, I want the pattern to be seamless, and I could show you how to make seamless patterns in Canva. If you want to know how to do that, drop that down in the comments below. But sometimes I like to just come here and find a quick pattern that just saves me a whole lot of time. And the nice thing about these patterns is you can also upload it to Cricut Design Space as a pattern, and you can fill in all sorts of objects there. Now, I came up here, I don't know if you noticed that, and I put in 3D in front of the flower pattern option that I'm looking for because I think on a puzzle, the 3D option for making them just pop a little bit more off of that puzzle would be really fun. So I'm kind of excited to see how this is going to turn out. Now, keeping my mother in mind, I finally find one that I think would be good for her with the colors and the types of flowers and things like that. So we are going to just scroll down here and you can see all the different descriptions about this pattern, that it is seamless and it is a PNG, so it will print. This is not an SVG, so you cannot just go ahead and cut this file, but we don't need that for sublimation. And then it also tells you that the DPI is 300 and what the size is and all those good things. So we are going to go up and download this, but I really like this one over here too. So I might have to download this one as well and maybe do a mug. If you have not hit the notification bell yet after subscribing, you should, because I think I will test this Cherry Blossom 3D mug wrap out next, and I will be sure to do a tutorial on that. I have a few sublimation mugs that I've been wanting to test out as well, and these I think are really cute. So anyways, let's go and download this one as well, because it is, again, a PNG. This is everything that we would need. The description down here tells us all of that good information. We are going to grab this file as well. And because I have the all access subscription, I don't pay for each individual file, which is amazing because there are thousands and thousands of files that are just at your ready. So this is why I love this program versus Cricut Access. Now, after downloading my file, I'm going to open up the zip file and see that I have here what I need. Now coming back over to Canva, I hit the upload file option here, and we are just gonna go find that pink flower file. And as you can see, the other one is still uploading here. We're going to open this up and click on it, and it will drop into our downloads. And then we just need to click and drag it onto our paper or our blank canvas. Now, as you can see, you can resize this. So if you want bigger flowers to make an easier puzzle, you can make it whatever size you want. My mom is really good at puzzles, and she likes like lots of little tiny pieces, but because this puzzle only has 120 pieces, I am going to make these small, and then all I'm doing is hitting the duplicate button and lining them up next to each other. And this is why it's important that you use seamless patterns, because if it isn't seamless, it's not really going to line up very well. Some people make patterns and they don't make them seamless. So that is why I like these seamless patterns. I can make it whatever size I want, and then just keep hitting duplicate and sliding it in. It will lock in place, and you will know that it is just where you need it. We will go down to the bottom right-hand corner here in a minute and use the slider to enlarge it, just to make sure there aren't any little line white gaps between our squares and that everything looks good. Now again, like I said before, if you would like to know how to make your own seamless patterns, either using elements from Canva or Creative Fabrica or combining them, just let me know in the comments. I would be happy to do that for you. I do enjoy making seamless patterns because you can really customize to the person you are making things for, but this just saves me a whole lot of time. So after checking all of these squares out, it looks like this is good to go. So now we are going to go over to text and grab add a heading. And I am going to play around with the text here because with these colors, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do for the coloring of the text and the font. So I'm going to start out by just putting in Welcome to Grandma's Garden. She loves her gardens, and I thought I'm not very creative with words, so that is just what I am putting on here. I'm sure you can think of something much better to put on a Mother's Day, Grandmother's Day gift, but this is what I am doing. Now I'm going to come up here and change the color. As you can see on the left-hand side here, it will have whatever picture you put in here, the colors that are in it. And if you want a different color, or maybe you don't see the exact shade that's in this picture, you can grab the little eyedropper here and hover over the color that you want and click on it, and it will change that color. But because we have our options down here, I'm going to play around with these different colors, and then I'm going to come up here to the top and hit Elements and add an outline, or in Cricut it would be called an offset. You can go ahead and change that color, and you can change the size of the offset. You can just really play around and customize this. I spent a lot of time, I'm not gonna lie, I was very indecisive on the coloring of these words. So I'm going to speed through this process. You can take as much or as little time as you want on this kind of stuff. I don't know, I was having a really hard time deciding what colors I wanted to use that would show up decent on this puzzle, because there are a lot of colors in this puzzle and I didn't want just black writing. So we will continue going through this, changing the offset size. If you guys are enjoying these kinds of tutorials where we walk step by step through how to actually design things, let me know in the comments below. After settling on this, I go up to the top and hit share and download. You want this to be a PNG. And if you have the Pro version, you could do a transparent background, but because this fills our whole canvas, we don't need to do that. So hit download, and then it will send it to wherever your computer sends downloads. I am on a Mac, which might be different from whatever kind of computer you are using, but you should know where to find that. And then we are ready to go over to my favorite place to print stuff for Sublimation is Silhouette Design Space, or Silhouette Studio. Sorry, I have that Cricut in my head. But I do not own a Silhouette, but this basic edition is free for anyone to use, and it is a great software to use for designing and for printing. Now, I know lots of different computers have different ways that you print, but this I find is the easiest for any type of computer that you have. And it gives me the true size, which I found just printing it straight from my download folder, which I can do on a Mac, didn't really give me the exact size that I need. So this was my workaround. Now, as you can see, the canvas, when you open it up, is going to be your basic paper size. And I'm going to change this so it's horizontal by clicking that button there. Then I'm going to come up to the top and open up my download folder. And we are going to find that Grandma's puzzle. And we're just going to click on it. And it drops it right onto the canvas. And we are going to just pull that down a little bit so we can see it better. And then we can go up to the top and unlock this measurement area where we can put in our dimensions. Now, the width I had is 10 and the height I had is 8. Now make sure you hit the return button before locking this. I found that that was different than in Cricut Design Space. It took me a long time to figure that out because it kept changing my sizes, which was kind of annoying. But hit the return button before the lock button. Then that button up there, it will center it for you on the page. And now we are ready to come up to the printer section up here and hit print. Then you will find a print preview box will pop up. Just make sure that everything is within the print lines and hit print. Your little preference box will pop up, and here is where I spend a little bit of time first setting up my print settings. After making sure I have the right printer selected, I am going to scroll down here and hit Layout, because in the Layout tab, you will find this Flip Horizontally section. Now click that over, because with Sublimation, you need to mirror your images, and then you don't have to worry about trying to flip it in Canva or on the Silhouette screen. That will take care of it for you. Then this next one, there's nothing that you need to hit. But then come down to printer options, and we are going to hit print settings, and we are going to change the paper type that we're using to premium presentation paper matte, and then the quality to high quality. Now you could hit mirror image, but because we already changed it in the other setting to flip horizontally, you do not want to click that. where it'll just change it all back again. Now the color options, we are going to play around with some of these settings. So hit advanced setting, and then we're going to change this to the Adobe RGB. The gamma should be set to 2.2. And then with the brightness, I like to change it to 9. The contrast, I change to 7. And saturation, I like to change to 15. Now, some printers, you maybe don't have to play around with the coloring, but they're all different. So take the time to do some sample prints to make sure that your color is the way you want it. Coming up to presets, you can come down here and hit save and then name this preset so you remember that it's for your sublimation printer. And that way, when you're sublimating, you just pick that preset and it will have all those things saved. So you don't have to go in every single time and change your color and the paper and all that kind of stuff. It will be good to go. Now go ahead and hit print. I am using an Epson EcoTank 2800. This is the printer that I purchased specifically for sublimation, and I converted it with sublimation ink. The ink and paper that I like to use is the Hippo set. Now I picked this up off of Amazon and I can link that below. As you can see on the back here, they have their logo so you know which side you need to print on, which is super helpful. You will get a warning that your paper doesn't match. Just go ahead and hit OK for next. And then yes, you want to print on the paper that is loaded. And now your printer will print out a beautiful sublimation print. The colors will look very faded, and that is normal. It brightens up as it is heated. And this printer has been working out really well for me. I'll leave what it is down below, but you can pick these up on Amazon or even at like Office Max and Best Buy. It really is good for the price that it is. Now let's head over to the things that we will need for our sublimation, like our heat-safe gloves, Teflon sheet, butcher paper, heat-safe tape, and then I have my scissors for the tape and a lint roller because I'm outside in my garage office and I have a little visitor who likes to join me quite often. Here's one of our barn cats. She really wants to be a house cat, but I'm allergic to them. So I have a lot of lint rollers handy, but we are going to be using today this Better Sub heat press. This is a swivel top, which I like because my kids are out here a lot and I didn't want anything that would come down on their arms if they are out here helping me. So I like that I can slide this all the way around to the back side. And I really like this press. It has served me well in the time that I have been doing sublimation. We are going to start out by clearing our space here now so that we can prep our area for our puzzle. Now grabbing the puzzle, I can see that these Hobby Lobby puzzles need to be heated at 400 for 50 seconds. Medium to heavy pressure. So we will come over to the heat press and turn it on. And then with this one, I need to hit the OK button, which will bring me to the preset 1. And then I have to turn the temperature up by hitting the up arrow key to 400. And then I will hit OK again, and it will bring up preset 2, which is the time. And I will bring this down to 50 seconds by hitting the down arrow and OK. And then preset 3 is for Fahrenheit or Celsius. And then I just let it go and heat up on its own and do its thing. Now this puzzle here, I noticed that it is really kind of shimmery and I kind of like that. But we are going to open this up here on the back. And then taking the sticky part from this plastic envelope, I am going to fold that down onto itself so that when I pull the puzzle out, it doesn't stick to that sticky part. Don't ask me how I know to do that. That can cause problems. But like I said, this is like a shimmery glitter coating on the top of here, which I think is going to give this 3D flower pattern a really cool look. Now I know I probably don't have to lint roll this because it just came out of plastic, but I like to be safe and just clean all my surfaces before I use them, whether they were tightly wrapped or not. Now grabbing our print, as you can see it printed backwards, which is what we need because we are going to flip this over. And there's plenty of extra space on this print so that the entire puzzle will be covered. Now making sure that puzzle is sandwiched between the paper and that piece of cardboard that was sent with the puzzle. I'm going to flip it over and then line this up where I think it would be in the middle. And then grabbing some of that heat safe tape, I cut a few strips and I'm just going to put this on the back of the puzzle just to secure these pieces a little bit more. I really don't want this to fall apart or wiggle around, even if I have that cardboard piece attached to it. Like I said before, I just like to be super safe and make this nice and secure. So I'm going to run a few of these longer pieces on the back side of this puzzle. Then I will grab that cardboard piece and put that back on that same side with the tape. And grabbing a few more pieces of tape, I'm going to now tape down the edges of this to the paper itself. That way it will hopefully all stay together and it won't be shifting around when I press this. If your sublimation shifts around or it comes apart, it can cause what's called a ghosting effect, which is where you'll get like fuzzy shadows and lines around your print, and nobody likes that. So I like to just tape this down really well so that I know it is not going to move in the heating process. Now, carefully taping all this down around so I don't have any of this tape sticking up funny. I'm going to flip this over and I am ready to head over to the heat press. I had set this time to 50 seconds and the heat is at 400. I did remove the gray pressing mat and I'm going to replace it with this board. You want to make sure you have a flat board, nothing that's warped. And I felt like this would be a better solid base so that that puzzle didn't like sink into the mat or the pressing pillow. If you're using an easy press from Cricut and you have the 2, then you could get up to 400 and you could do this just fine, but have a solid surface under it, like a cutting board or something. But covering the board with a piece of butcher paper, I am going to put this puzzle side down so that the paper with the sublimation print is on the top, and then cover that with the Teflon sheet. And the reason why we cover this with the butcher paper and the Teflon sheets is just to protect everything in case there's any ink that kind of pours over the side. It could leave prints on your pressing mats and things like that. Now we are going to let this time come down. And like I said before, you need to make sure this is a medium to heavy pressure. So that knob up there on the top is what you would turn beforehand to check that pressure. Now we are done. I'm going to open this up and slide it around to the back, which again, I love the feature of this press. I wasn't sure if I would or not, but I really do like this versus like the clamshell style. Now sliding this down, I'm going to put this back on my work surface, and you really should take something heavy right away and put it on top of the puzzle. I kind of waited a little bit too long, but because it's kind of a soft material, it will bend a little bit, like it warps after the heat comes off of it, if that makes any sense. And you really want to just press that down. Now, I thought about if I had my easy press handy, I would have just taken that and put it right on top because it's heavy enough, but using the same board, I just pressed this down really well. And now that it has cooled off enough to the touch, I'm going to flip this over and start peeling all of this tape off. This is sometimes the hardest part of this sublimation process. I don't always have long fingernails, and then it makes it hard to peel off this tape. But as we keep working on it, we will soon reveal what is underneath. And I can't wait for you guys to see how this puzzle turned out. This was such a super simple project, and I love that I can buy this in a pack of 6 at Hobby Lobby for $6. I mean, that is a super cheap gift that you can personalize and just make fun little projects for people. I think I might let my kids make some of these for some of their friends as just little fun gifts. Or maybe teachers for the end of the school year. They could maybe make a fun little message to put on it. But there you have it. It took most of the ink off of here, which is what you want. And look how vibrant those colors are. Now, as you remember when we printed it, it looked kind of dull and faded. But you guys, this turned out really cute. And I love that I used that 3D effect on these flowers with the pattern, because I think that makes the flowers just kind of pop right off of the puzzle. And I really think my mom is going to enjoy this as just a fun little part of her Mother's Day gift. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Will you be trying out how to sublimate a puzzle? Or are you still debating whether or not to switch to sublimation from maybe infusible inks? If you want to check out some videos I have on that, click here now to see some more on infusible inks, which is a great alternative to sublimation.